everybody. In today's video I'm going to compare the Reaper Master Series high definition paints to the old GW Foundation paints, or now called I think they're called base paints now. So these were the colors I could find that closely approximated the GW line colors. This one here, but these are on top of black, or these are on top of white. So this one I think is just a tad bit maybe darker, but might not be. This one is the closest I could get to Dead Stone, and it's got a slight blue tinge to it. And the rest of them I thought were pretty close, if not spot on, to the actual colors. Now I'm going to say that every single one of these foundation colors has had flow improver added to them, because when I got them, all of them, and I mean all of them, were horrible to put on a model. There's somewhere floating around here in my room something I used, and this is the first one I bought, the first one I used, what is it, Dark Sun, the yeah, something like that, Dark Sun, and it's supposed to be, supposedly the foundations are supposed to be able to be used straight out of the pot, no need to water them down, blah 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 blah, GW hype. And I bought that pot first, and I was like, well, maybe it's kind of like some of the other stuff I've used, where, you know, when it dries it shrinks down, and you might have to go back in there and touch up where it had shrunk down and didn't go over the primer coat. And that definitely was not the case. Needless to say, I was not happy. When you do water these or add flow improver to the pots to get them to the point where they're more fluid, these are pretty much almost to the point of where all you need to do is take a damp brush and kind of just move the paint around a little bit on your palette, or put them on a wet palette, and then go. You're still not taking right from the pot and put them onto the miniature at the moment. Now, Reaper Master Series paints, high definition paints, I've used I think 7 colors so far out of the whole range, and this is not even the whole range of colors. And we'll zoom back out here real quick. Oop, that's in. And yeah, so I know I don't have every GW one, especially now that they have new ones, but you can see there's a lot of color choices still left in here, and these red ones are really nice as well, especially this dark one here. So let's get back into the zone. So I move that out of my way so I can do it. Alright, so I'm going to just do a quick demonstration. If you've seen General Splat, and you've probably seen him go over this slightly, I'm going to move the colors out of the way right now. And I'm going to use one of General Splat's handy dandy trademarks, styrofoam plate. This one just happens to be black. I'm going to use the back of it. It's not quite as smooth as the inside of this. I don't know how well. Actually, no, it's black, so what the hell, we'll try it. We'll see how well the paint, either paints hold to it. Sorry about that. So we'll go first with the, you know, always give these things a little bit of a shake up. They've been sitting around for a little bit. So the Denim Stone one, put a little bit right there. Just get a little bit of the color on there, and that is concrete gray for the Reaper. Let's see if this. And then I will take the Dynamo Stone and I will put it right next to it. I don't want to have to keep constantly going back and forth with a paintbrush, but as you can see there, I've added flow improver and stuff, and you can still see this is pretty thick still. Where if you look straight out of the pot, that is really fluid, or yeah, straight out of the pot. That is really fluid, and look at that, it moves beautifully right over that. And as you can see, it has more of a bluish tinge, and that will skew the color if I use the brush on that. And then we'll take that stone. As you can see, it really wants to get the brush strokes are in there. Doesn't flow quite as nice. And this brush is, like I said, damp, because you just heard me rinse it, and it actually increased its flowability and its ability to move across the plate. Like I said, I got a lot of these down to the point where you just get a damp brush and then move the paint around and then put it onto the miniature. The next one we'll do is the Toleron Flesh, and the equivalent that I found was Suntan Flesh by Reaper. Sounds like somebody smacking the pudding. One could use a little bit more shaking, but you can still see, you can see a little bit of separation. I mean, just a little bit. And I just did a quick shake. And like I said, a lot of these have just been sitting around, so it's not like moving around. Now, here's another problem with my foundations. I don't know if you can see it, but there is separation in this foundation paint. And I've actually shaken this pot up a little bit, plus it got moved around. The foundations actually just got moved around pretty good to get pulled out, brought up to the table. As you can see, still pretty thick. Looks like this one might be slightly lighter. Than the Reaper, but I have lighter browns, so that's not too big of an ordeal. And brush strokes, I mean, there's not a whole lot there, and I'm moving it pretty far. The brush strokes really don't show up on that tan flesh Reaper. Brush, and this is still pretty thick. It's a little bit lighter, but like I said, I have lighter, so that's not a big deal. As you saw, there's a good amount of browns and a lot of flesh tones that I could have picked up. So now knowing that, I could actually probably go back to my case and find one that's more appropriate for a usage of that particular color. Let's see, let's go up the scale a little bit. Yeah, this Caucasian flesh looks like it might be really close. Put a little dab right there next to it. Caucasian's a little bit too light, I think. One tight spot. Third spot. Alright. Caucasian flesh. Let's see what happens when I mix these two. Hey, we can mix the two and pretty much comes out really close. To the Tarlon fresh flesh. Alright, let's do the green. Yep, orc shade for all you orc lovers out there. And as you can see, before I shake it up, so, oh yeah, there's major separation in there of the colors. You can even see it in the top cap thing there. You gotta shake that up real good. And I've had a lot of problems where I take these colors and I shake them up really good. I put them on my palette, wet or dry, and then these colors, for whatever reason, there you go. I just noticed the light was kind of shining down right on that spot really bad. But for whatever reason, the colors actually start to separate in the actual palette itself. So there's orc flesh green. I think my water is a little bit saturated in paints. That green does not want to seem to come out. There we go. There's orc. And even after shaking it and moving that around, you can see that it's actually still a little bit separated. So quick little shake on what is known as Reaper's Mossy Green. Well, that's a little bit lighter on GW's. I actually have darker of a green. I really thought that was dark enough. Actually, the closest thing I think I have is Field Gray, which is a grayish green. So that was my darkest green. No, that's too gray. Yep, that's too gray. I have everything else darker for green. Well, since we got Field Gray down on here. Nice gray green, I really put anything down there. Most of the paint went into the brush. So you can see this. I had that brush and I really didn't wipe it out too good, so it's still a lot of water in there now. But pretty nice. Just lined it up slightly with the Reaper one. As you can probably see, these colors cover up just as nicely as the GW ones. You can't see it, I don't think, in here. There's a good amount of separation on here, and I've actually used this paint. This paint was actually traveled with me on my way back home to work today, or this morning. So it's been moving around, shaking, and everything else, and it's still separated. So we're going to use mustard yellow as the equivalent. Like I said, I think this actually is a little bit darker than GW's. I think I might actually be wrong. Looks like it might be a little bit brighter. Maybe spot on. Once again, a lot more of the paint went into the brush than what's on this palette. I should have used a little bit more. Here's the GW one. Smooths out really good once the damp brush gets into it, as you can see. And that is actually slightly darker. Wow, come on. Don't bleach it. Oh. I think it's still getting paled out by the lights. Let's see what happens when I take out that light. Oh, it's dark. Let's try this light. I wonder if I can stop shaking. Okay, there you go. Yeah, leave it like that. I think that's pretty close. It's not quite so bleeded out, the actual colors, and you can see them on this plate. So I'm going to leave this like this, and then I'll turn the other light back on at the very end. And I'm trying to make this video short. I know a lot of my videos run long, and I really don't realize that they're running as long as they do. So I apologize for that. As you can probably tell, I can be a talky little son of a gun, but I really don't try to. Try to be making good quality content videos that I hope people get some use out of. If I didn't think it was something worthwhile putting out, I really wouldn't put out the video. So I'm going to use Golden Brown by Reaver to do, what is this, Chimera Brown or some shit like that, if pronounced correctly. I probably pronounced it wrong. I just eyed these colors to see if they're close. A lot of them I just kind of looked at the bottom of both bottles and figured, yeah, that looks close. It's got to be about right. Looks like that's about wrong. Yep, that's about wrong. It's more of a chocolate milk color, and I got a shitload more browns that I could have possibly picked through for that one. Griffin Tan might actually be a good fit for that. Let's try out Griffin Tan next to it. Now, Griffin Tan's still a bit too light, but not enough chocolate. Now we could try Woodland Brown. That's the last one I'll try. I don't want to waste your time. I'm going to hopefully find some stuff here that you could use as an equivalent to the GW stuff if you're not too thrilled or happy with the new colors. No, that's still too. No. Still not chocolate enough. But right around, this was the first color I used. I really need to change out that pen. A cup of water. GW1 still thick. Moist brush helps, but this one needs a lot more help than just that moist brush. Really see the brush strokes in that. And this brown is usually, I think I didn't check before I started shaking, but that brown is usually too much water in this brush. That brown is usually a big problem. It's one of the bigger problems next to the yellow that I have with GW's foundation paints as they separate. As I'm trying to use them, I'm constantly having to stir them back together. And I didn't have any water in the brush on that one. I barely had any paint there. Not a big deal. Alright, and here's the last one. This is the equivalent, hopefully, to Fenris Gray. And I'm going to be using Reaper's Night Sky Blue. And I'm going the wrong way. There we go. So, excuse me. I just shook that up and it's still separated. Alright, I should get enough. If not, oh well. Blob on my brush, put it down right here. That's the GW one. Fenris Gray for all you Space Wolves out there. And the idea behind this video is not to bash GW, but to, I know a lot of people are having issues right now with the new line coming out, and that the colors they have aren't matching, or at least not matching very well, the colors they were using. And there's a lot of guys out there using these foundation colors as the darkest shadow to their miniature. So they're putting these colors down and then putting other colors on top of them, but leaving these foundation colors and I think this one's really close. If it's off by slightly, but you probably can't see it in this camera. If you can see a swirl of the actual paint. Still isn't 100% mixed very well on the GW side. You know what? I think, yeah, this color right here matches that one beautifully. If this was mixed better, I guarantee you this is pretty much almost a perfect match. And of course, I'm mixing the damn colors together. But yeah. So like promised, let me clean out my brush real quick. This is a camel hair brush that I got from, it's Michael's. This is a cheap brush from this company here, and I got it in this little package deal if anybody's interested. And these brushes are good brushes to just beat up and do whatever. When I use the gesso, I use these brushes. That's probably why you see the bristles are pretty dark. That gesso kind of gets in there and kind of really changes the colors on the brush real good. So I'll bring it up close so you can see these again before I turn back on the light. Alright, gonna turn on back the light, so get ready for desaturation, go! And I'll just move this around, so yeah, that looks pretty decent. And these colors are starting to dry, as you can tell. I'm trying to move them around so you can keep getting a better look. It really dried out to be more of a blue. I'll have to maybe play around a little bit and see if I can get something more closer to the Dedham Stone color. I guess since it's concrete's got a little bit more of a bluish color to it than a stone does. And that's really the lightest colored gray I got. And all I got is dirty gray I could probably put on there and try out. And then I got ash gray. So you can see these two. This one here is ash gray, and this one's dirty. I'll put these down here real quick. I'm pretty sure my videos lasted long enough that at this point, putting down 2 more colors really fast. It's going to add like 30 seconds. Actually, probably 2 minutes. So, if you're mad at me, go ahead and hit the dislike button. You can unsub me if need be. I won't lose sleep, I promise. Alright, so the ash and gray still had kind of a, kept kind of the bluish tinge, but it's darker. And then dirty gray, I'll clean out this brush so I don't mix the 2 damn colors together. Something worse than mixing the colors together, right? And then dirty gray is gray, but put it right next to, boy, I've got a little bit too much water on the brush. Oops. But it's a little bit too dark for an equivalent to denim stone. But you could easily fix that by adding some skull white or something and getting it down to the exact look. And I know you're probably saying, well, why the hell would I add white to it? And so on. Well, you know, it's foundation paint, so even if you add white to it and lighten it up, the coverage should still be good compared to just using white or a regular gray that's pretty close to it. So it should still work in retrospect. Lift these around and move it around so you can see them. One last time. And then I'll kill the light up top so you can see it's a dark, dirty look. So that concludes my video. I hope this is helpful for you. In case you're looking to keep, you know, the same kind of color, try to find something close to the same colors that you were using for GW before they change the color line. And here's what Reaper has to offer. Like, there's a lot more colors in there. Some of the shades aren't quite a very close match, but I think that you could actually pull them off really and not lose too much. Especially since a lot of you guys will put washes and stuff on it anyways, that you'll probably actually just cover it up so much with the wash and darken these colors down and kind of move them around, that the ones that are really close, that are just slightly off, probably won't make much of a difference in general. So stay tuned, guys. I got another video coming up that I'll be doing that you probably saw a slight preview to off to the side on another type of way to get the old GW colors at a much cheaper price for a good amount of paint. So talk to you guys later. Happy wargaming.